Just made it up.
I was right there on it, right on top of your heart.
Sounds painful.
I was right there on it.
Yeah.
Do you let out that stinky fart?
Mm-hmm.
And now I plug my nose with love for you. And now I'm crying every night. Now I'm right there on it everywhere except near your butt 'cause it stinks all night. Remember that one?
No.
Yeah, it was Counting Crows.
It was Three Dog Night.
Counting Crows.
So how do I look at the what people are saying in the chat? How does that work?
Oh, you don't want to see that.
You can go to the YouTube channel, and we're live now.
Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Hello, world.
Live to YouTube. Our webinar is live.
I'm crunching.
I'm not seeing us live.
You gotta load up the channel.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah.
like a video.
Seems like I had the same problem last week, and all
Whatever.
that Phil did was just mock me incessantly.
yeah. Well, maybe get
Now
better
the
at
shoes on the
computers.
other foot.
Get better at computers. That's what I'm saying.
I just put it in Slack.
I put it in Slack.
I put it in the Slack.
I put it in the Slack, Jack.
You ready?
Mm,
Ready?
Oh boy.
No?
What?
Okay. You ready? Let's do it. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
Cowboy Bebop.
Hey, you're listening to Phil and CJ's anime reviews. And if that didn't fill you in, yep, we're talking about the classic animes from Japan, Cowboy Bebops.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one with Cowboy Spike, and he rides the open plains on his horse Bebop.
Mm. Hello and welcome to episode 671 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 17th, 2019. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hola.
How's it going?
Good. I did did an extra That was weird.
Oh,
Call from mom.
Call from mom. I'm going to decline that right now.
that's how it's
you
going.
You just hung up on your mom.
He just hung up on.
air.
He just
Everyone
ghosted his
She'll-
own mother.
She'll understand.
I'm going to text her.
She'll understand. She's heard the
Calling me while I'm
Yes.
podcasting, bum.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
did my extra life donor request stream yesterday.
Yes.
Raised about $200. It's pretty good. Played a bunch of games, got a bunch of donor requests out of the way. So now when people donate, they don't have to wait 3 years before I play whatever they've requested.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do another
Or
one
it's more like 1 year.
as soon as I'm gonna do another one as soon as I can. Because we've passed that $3,000 threshold for the year. So pretty great, all things considered.
Awesome.
That's
That's
what
really
I
good.
was. That was my weekend.
Alrighty. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hello there.
Hi there, neighbor. How's it going?
Hey there,
neighbor?
hi there, ho there.
Certainly wouldn't know it from how often I see you. I see you just as much as I saw you when you were living in Atlanta. So
I know, right? It's
don't
great.
neighbor me.
This is exactly the kind of frequency I want to see you. Just,
Well,
yeah.
I don't blame you.
Now you sound like my mom. My goodness.
Oh, and joining us, very special guest this week, Mr. Chris Baker.
Your mom's calling.
Yeah, mom's calling again.
Your mom's calling.
Perfect timing.
You might want to check. This might be an emergency.
Mom.
She's like,
Should I pick
Chris,
up?
I got your text.
Should I pick up?
Yes.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's not bad news.
Yeah,
That
really.
would- That would be awful.
Hey, parents. I'm doing a podcast right now.
Oh, okay.
I think you can be heard live on
Hi,
this
C-Bake's
podcast.
parents.
They said hi. It's my
Hi,
roommate
People
Greg.
said hello.
Yeah.
I really,
Yeah.
really hope this is not bad news.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, guys.
But Christopher,
Love
your
ya.
sister is very sick.
Oh, don't say that.
Bye.
That would be awful. No.
Yes, that was my parents on the lovely Alexa device that we have.
Is
Alexa
everything
phone?
everything's okay?
Seems to be just kind of our weekly call. I was at that.
Oh,
son
okay.
didn't
Yeah.
call earlier today. But yeah, hey, it's good to be back here on the show. It's been a while. I did your Spider-Man your Spider-Man PS4 spoiler cast.
Indeed.
But other than that, I think it's been since I bought my Switch early last year, around the Winter Olympics. I bought my Switch because I wanted to not watch the Olympics like full undivided attention. I wanted something else to do. So that was a good time to buy the Switch. And I think that's the last time I was here.
I can totally sit and watch the Winter Olympics.
I can mostly sit and watch
I
the
love the Winter Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
But
only
hey, if
watch
anyone
the
from
Winter
Nintendo is
Olympics.
listening, possible advertising angle here with Tokyo 2020.
When you want to watch the
coming up.
Olympics, but you don't really
want to
watch the Olympics.
Exactly.
Why watch the
Instead of
Olympics?
watching
Goes for
You
any
can
sporting
live-
event, really.
You can live the Olympics with Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's right. That's exactly it.
That's right. That's
Awesome.
why.
Well, thank you, Seabake, for joining us.
Yeah, and my
once
parents.
again. And your parents, yeah.
when I go see episode 9 later this year, I'm not gonna bother watching. I'm gonna be playing Star Wars Pinball on my Switch while I'm in the theater.
Oh,
I was about to say you shouldn't do that, but that's the perfect game.
Yeah, and I'll be
Yeah.
loudly announcing to everyone what I'm doing.
I think everyone would
definitely
be
do that.
probably rightfully pissed at you for having.
You guys are suckers for just watching the movie. I'm living 4D with Star Wars Pinball by Zen Studios.
what you also have to do then is have a selfie stick with your phone
Yeah.
attached so they can
Oh.
record the beatings that you were receiving.
There you go.
And the
Or
various
Twitch
things
it.
thrown
Put
at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, put it on
live
Twitch.
stream yourself.
Slam that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and subscribe, bros.
Fun times.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hi,
Should
Seabake. We
talk
missed
about
you.
I know. I missed
Yeah.
you guys. I mean, actually,
I
I've
guess
seen
is what he
Greg
was about to say.
once or twice in the meantime. Since the last
Yeah.
time I was
Yeah.
here, yeah, we played through Michael Jackson's Moonwalker
Right.
together at a barcade with Sam Kennedy.
Back before it was really
Really?
creepy.
Yeah, back before it was
Wow.
really creepy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
it would be. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that again.
Oh, I could do that again.
Okay. Well,
I am
Makes sense.
fully at peace with enjoying the media that he created before I knew for certain what he was, but
sure.
you know, it's more mine now than his.
Oh, okay. Should we get to some news on that note?
Sure.
'Cause there are a lot of little things that we can talk about. Last week, of course, there was an Apple event, so you know I was glued to my television watching that.
Mhm.
But of interest in the gaming sphere of things, the release date and pricing for Apple Arcade got announced. So it will be opening on the 19th of September, so this week.
Yeah.
And it will cost you $4.99 per month, and that is for your entire family. So if you have a
$499 per month.
$4.99.
Now you got to make up for those lack of microtransactions somehow.
Yeah, they got to make their money.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's for your whole family. So if you have like an iTunes family account, any of your children or your significant others can partake in the Apple Arcade goodness. And
My 7-year-old
Yeah,
does
that
not
is-
have an iPhone.
that is premium games that don't have any microtransactions and are ad-free as well. And I think I heard that the companies doing Apple Arcade games aren't even allowed to put like analytics or trackers in there at all.
I want to
So-
say that's the case because Ethan's been tweeting like about that type of stuff like crazy. So I assume that it's
Yeah.
true.
That's unlike him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So $4.99 a month. We'll see how that goes, and you can get a free month trial as well. So
Mm.
yeah. Anybody
I-
but me gonna actually subscribe?
I mean, I'll check out the free month trial. I just can't see. My phone has not been a gaming device for me for ever.
Yeah.
And
No.
I realized that they're going
yeah.
for something a little different now, and that might be great. But
They are. And at the event, they showed off, they invited a couple different publishers on stage, including Capcom and Konami, to show off titles. So we saw a new Frogger from Konami.
Finally,
going to be part
about
of
time.
Apple Arcade. Yeah. And Capcom had like a deep sea diving shooter that they were showing off as well.
Mhm.
So
wasn't Frogger the final licensed game for both the Genesis and the Super Nintendo in North America? Well, in the US anyway.
Maybe.
I know it was for the Genesis, but I
Possible.
remember reading somewhere this weekend that it was also the final one for the Super Nintendo. I haven't.
Was
That
that
might
at
be
the
the
same
case.
time
Yeah.
it came out like on PlayStation and all those?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
it
think
has-
the $4.99 is like the perfect like
That's a good
impulse
price.
buy price. Like, you know, at $9.99 I'd be on the fence, but I think I'm gonna do it for $4.99.
And then it's just low enough that most people won't even notice that they're still paying for it a year from now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So-
true, and it's easy enough to cancel subscriptions from within the App Store. So,
Oh, yeah,
if,
no,
if
it's-
any of you have subscribed to any apps, it's
Like, say
a
this
pretty
one.
easy process. Yeah, pretty easy process.
Plus, there's a fine new game from Zen Studios on the platform.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for those who don't know, I work for Zen Studios. I'm creative director there, and we're putting out a game called Dread Nautical. There hasn't been much about it yet. Expect more this week, but yeah, it's a turn-based kind of tactics game with roguelike elements.
Ooh.
And it works really well, like in a touch screen, whether you're playing on iPhone or iPad or in your Apple TV, which you know, you use the controller for that, obviously. But it's you know, it's turn-based, so there's not like a ton of pressure on each move, so you can you know, plot out in a very, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics kind of way, like who goes where and what weapon they're going to use and all that kind of stuff. So it's got a really kind of cool, really eerie tone to it. I like to call it Twin Peaks, the animated series on a boat, the game. Because that's kind of
Right.
it's kind of what it is. If there were a Twin Peaks animated series on a boat, it's
like
basically Dread Nautical. So look for that one. You know,
I feel like
it's gonna
there has
be
to be someone you just completely sold.
Does
That's
it
my
have
elevator
pirates in it?
pitch.
If it has pirates in it, then I'm in.
That's my elevator pitch that I can't actually put in actual materials, but yeah, that's just the quick way to describe it. Yeah, you know, a lot of it was already written by the time I got on the project, but I did kind of story edit and I did most of the cutscenes too. So
Nice.
you know, looking forward to
Awesome.
people had to say about that.
Nice.
Awesome.
And with iOS 13, which also comes out around the 19th, you can pair your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One controller to the phone. So any of these
Nice.
games that have controller support, you can use your console controller with them. And I think actually you can pair your those controllers with the Apple TV as well. So
I know when I'm traveling around, you know, just during the day with my phone, I always like to carry a PS4 controller with me as well, just in case I need it. So
I figure,
yeah, that's perfect for me.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have it for Project xCloud, right? You may have that on you for that.
For which one?
xCloud, that's Microsoft's streaming to phone
Mhm.
service
Sure.
coming this fall. Anyway,
Okay.
but one of the games that is going to debut on Apple Arcade is Chuchu Rocket Universe. So I thought this would be of interest to Greg at the very least. But
You know what?
I'm a big fan of Chuchu Rocket. Yeah.
It really isn't. I never liked
Thought this guy liked
What?
Sega.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
just
What?
I never got into that. But
You
Oh.
don't like
it's
Chuchu
cool that
Rocket?
it's cool that they're resurrecting it.
Mm.
And I already saw people
Yeah.
complaining online that because
It doesn't.
I'm
look
a
the
little bit
same,
fuzzy
but-
though. Is it are the games on this service supposed to be exclusive or
exclusive on mobile. So a lot of the games
Okay.
that are on Apple Arcade are also coming to consoles, like Overland from Finji. It's
Okay.
also coming out on consoles and PC like next week or this week. So Yeah, but in terms of mobile, yeah, they won't be on Android.
Okay. Gotcha. I understand. But I mean, it's cool that they're resurrecting it. And it's nice to see that, it's always nice to see them bring back another franchise that's lain dormant for quite a while. And Sega's becoming like one of the best in the industry at doing that. So,
well, yeah, this fall.
I know I've played a Chuchu Rocket, but I didn't play it on Dreamcast.
You played a GBA one?
I want to say the iToy Sega game had a Chuchu Rocket minigame on it.
Oh, probably.
That might be the case, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I was introduced to Puyo Puyo, I know.
That's weird.
The iToy, I know, it is weird. That's where I was introduced to it. And I liked it. You like stuck your arms out and you, it was fun. But yeah, I feel like there was that iToy like Sega game, I think is where I got my Chuchu Rocket from.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my Sega Swirl revisit?
Oh, God.
That's the real
Sega Swirl. I don't think I ever played Sega Swirl.
Oh,
even
the
though
Dreamcast classic Sega Swirl.
Yeah.
There's the system seller right there.
Sure. Did you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken is making video games now?
I did know that.
They've got
They joined forces with Burger King or
King Games, I believe you mean.
Yeah, Burger King.
King Games. They've got a game coming to Steam on September 24th. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And
finger
no word
licking.
on how much this is, but it's
I think it's going to be free.
Is it free?
Yeah,
I believe
I've
it's
heard
free.
It's free.
I mean,
it's okay.
I mean, you do realize it's an ad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes people pay for that, right? I paid for the Burger King games.
It'll definitely be the
true.
best advert game since Yaris.
Oh,
That well, Yaris.
Sneak King was better than Yaris.
Yes, I know, but Yaris is more recent.
Yeah, but
it can't be worse than Yaris. That's what I'm saying. Yaris was like one of the worst games I ever played.
It was
not.
That sounds like someone throwing down the gauntlet right there.
Well, it was free too, and it gave me 10 achievement points or whatever, so or something. I guess. But you guys realize that those Burger King games are 13 years old?
Really,
man?
Well, they were. Wow. I remember they were hybrid.
Xbox
and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
You could play them on either system.
That means that it's been, that means that it's probably been about 15 years since I ate a Burger King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The last time you ate at Burger King was to go get a copy of Big
No.
Bumpin'?
No. Oh. I'm saying that I went specifically to get those games, but I didn't eat anything because I hadn't eaten a Burger King for quite a while at that point.
You know what I actually remember is I waited overnight to buy my Wii.
Yeah.
And I was hungry after I did it, and there was a Burger King right there, so I went there and I got one of them. I don't remember which one at that same time. So I got home with a Wii and like Sneak King or something.
Nice.
Love it.
Yes. Anyway, the KFC game has 9 characters, multiple hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And you play a culinary student that is trying to date Colonel Sanders.
Yes.
So
it's a visual novel game.
Titillating. Yes.
Hey, real quick. Speaking of fast food video game tie-in stuff, Greg.
Yeah.
Do they have 7-Elevens up there in Nova Scotia?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I don't know. If we do, I haven't seen one in quite a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Canadian, have you seen this? You hear about this?
Are you sure it's 7-Eleven? Oh yeah, okay, 7-Eleven Canada. Right on.
I can guarantee you it's 7-Eleven. Don't question my knowledge about 7-Eleven.
I hate these conversations so much.
I've been to a 7-Eleven in Ontario. I can confirm that.
Yeah, Ontario probably has one.
Yeah.
Well, there are definitely some up in Vancouver, and why, yes, I am indeed planning a trip to Vancouver in the very near future to hit up 7-Elevens because they are having a promotional Slurpee tie-in with The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
and they have
cups, right?
They have special Link's Awakening cups at the
So you're willing to drive several hours to get.
Well, if by several you mean 2.5,
right?
Then yes.
Yeah, there's as far as I can tell, there are no 7-Elevens east of Quebec.
Oh, that's crazy.
So the Maritimes loses out once again.
That's a shame.
Actually, I don't even think there's any east of Ontario. I'm not sure.
In my defense, it's a multi-purpose trip as well because I want to get some Tim Hortons.
Of course,
that I can get behind.
Yeah,
and
I want to
up there, right? And I want to visit. Well, there are multiple Toys R Us's up there. Toys are them, and it turns out that there is a Transformer toy that has started showing up in Canadian Toys R Us's that has not gotten any sort of official announcement of a release here in the States.
Wow, they soft launched a Transformers toy.
They absolutely did.
Wow.
So I want to go
what's
get
the toy?
It is a. Do you remember the old? This is just going to turn into me and Greg talking about old
That's
G1
cool.
Transformers.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the old mail away Power Dashers, Greg?
Yeah, I had both of them.
Well, first of all, there were 3 of them.
I had 3 of them.
They're it's amazing how you got the extra one just like that.
I just don't remember.
No, so they are doing new versions of the Power Dashers. One of them they've announced, at least here in the US, is being sold in a Amazon exclusive box set. The second one is being sold through Hasbro Pulse, which is of course Hasbro's online store. I have both of those pre-ordered. The third one we've seen pictures of from like a Chinese toy show or something, but we have not gotten any official word about when or where it will be released. But then like 2-3 days ago, just here's pictures of them on the shelf in Canada Toys R Us stores.
Nice.
So
amazing.
I gotta go buy me a Transformer, gotta go buy me like 3 Slurpees because there are 3 different Zelda cups.
Listen, while you're here and you're doing all that and you get into Tim Hortons as well, take advantage of a little free healthcare.
But I'm clearly going to need it after donuts
for 3 Slurpees and
donuts.
3
Slurpees. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So but there you go. There's a little Canadian news for you, Greg.
Enjoy your foray into our lovely country.
I can't wait. I got my passport ready to go.
You're coming up during election season too, so that's always fun.
Yeah.
Well then,
and that's our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in.
This week was also Tokyo Game Show, and saw some new demo footage of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Saw some Death Stranding stuff that I didn't pay attention to.
I heard
it was there.
I heard so. Death Stranding sounds really weird. I mean, like weird
just now.
Kojima game. It sounded weird before. Don't get me wrong, but apparently, like weapons are based on bodily fluids.
Yeah,
like you create weapons out of your urine and poop.
Oh,
yeah. See, I think Phil's decided to buy it now.
Okay, now we're getting
kind of taken aback by the whole thing.
We're talking my language here. So, what do you like? Freeze the urine
and literally go look it up
because there's like, out of it.
You see him taking a seat on a throne, and it's like a big bioweapons manufacturing facility.
If you're really into your Second Amendment, you'll figure out ways to make things happen.
Wow, it's true.
All right then,
because you could carve a dagger out of a urine icicle, stab someone in the throat.
We're talking more like grenades and things.
But then it melts. And where's the weapon? We can't produce it. I'm scot-free.
Yeah.
Is that your porn name?
It's the scot-free?
Yeah.
Or a urine icicle.
I think probably depends on which kind you're shooting.
Yikes. There's also a very easy mode for the game that apparently was designed because Kojima wanted the actors to be able to play through the game entirely.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of very easy modes.
And actors aren't good at video games? Is that what he's saying?
Well, Pauly Shore
thought
Dungeons and Dragons was a video game, so.
Player on podcast.
Cast
One.
Prayer on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I just watched that again this week and laughed.
The Leaning Tower of Cheese. Doot, buddy.
Keeps getting funnier. Anyway, so yeah, one of the things out of
My
TGS.
Pauly Shore just
sound
the
like it's
Roscoe
funny.
P. Coltrane there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the other things out of TGS is that Capcom showed off Project Resistance, which is as we thought last week, is a multiplayer Resident Evil-ish shooter. And the special thing about this is it's 4 players in a team, and also a director, 5th player who can place zombies, become a zombie, place different traps around, and basically mess with the 4 players who are trying to get their objectives completed. So
it's a dungeon master.
It looks pretty great.
Yeah.
And there's a beta coming up first week or 2 of October that people can sign up for now on PS4 and Xbox One. So I'll link to that in the show notes. But if you're interested in a multiplayer zombie shooter,
who isn't?
check that out. Yeah.
I reviewed Resident Evil Outbreak back in the day.
Oh,
on PS2.
And
that sounds
like
rough.
It was like, it could have been good if they had let you actually talk. Because
that
you could only communicate, with your D-pad. You had like 4 things you could say, basically.
Oh, really?
And their whole thing was like, it takes away from the scary experience if you can talk to everybody, but like, no one agreed with that. It was a beautiful game, and it was actually, it was fun, and it did feel Resident Evil, but the whole communication aspect of it kind of made it a lot less good than it could have been.
Because I'm assuming you were fighting zombies like in a group, right?
Yeah.
I
feel like it might have started you in different places, and you'll inevitably meet up, or I don't know. I might be misremembering.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So like, if you started far apart, but even if you got into range of each other, you couldn't talk to each other?
You could. That is where you could actually hit the
that's weird.
The D-pad for
okay,
come here or over there, or just really generic.
That's really stupid.
Yeah.
Because the concept of not being able to communicate with your teammates if you're far apart is kind of neat and makes sense. But if you all meet up, then
I think they, that was the PR line, and they probably we don't want people like talking about NFL games of the day or whatever, But
want it to be immersive.
I think it was a tech thing. I think it really was a tech. That's just
that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, this looks like it's something different for Resident Evil, and I'm all for it. Anyway, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So we got a little bit of news about The Last of Us 2, in that they scheduled a a media presentation for the 24th of September.
Thank goodness.
In LA. So yeah, we're gonna get some more information about The Last of Us Part 2 at this. And my question to you is, do you think we will hear at this event that it's a PS5 game?
Oh, I hope not.
I don't think so.
Why'd you have to go and say that, CJ?
Possible.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I really don't think so, because I would think they'd want to announce the PS5 first. So maybe it's
they did. They kind of did with that Wired article, right? I mean, they said it exists, and
I mean, well, then I think
no,
it would
but
be
like a date at least.
It would have to be like a full-fledged announce of the PS5 at the same time.
Yeah,
right.
You don't think they would do that? It could be a Trojan horse to actually show you the PS5 and blow our minds or whatever. That's cool. That's what they're doing, but I don't know. I feel it's going to be like a God of War 2 kind of situation with that game, like where it might come out maybe even a little after PS5 launches, and be like one of the last killer apps on this gen.
Possible. I think because Sony's strategy with PS4 has been the standard PS4, PS4 Pro, and now when they showed off the PS5 stuff to Wired, they showed off SpiderMan PS4 and the load times, right? The load time difference there, that even if the game launches on PS4, it will have PS5 compatible upgrades. So whether that's graphics or load time or whatever it is, it'll have some enhancements for PlayStation 5. So that if people do upgrade, even if it is released on PS4 early next year or what have you, that people will get to continue their game without having to like buy a remaster or something for PlayStation 5. Yeah, and with Sony has done this with a couple games now, especially Spider-Man, and then Days Gone also had this where they added suits in Spider-Man, and then Days Gone just got an update like in the last week or two with a new game plus mode. So I think their plan for The Last of Us Part 2 probably includes a longer tail of additional content.
Yeah, I would say that makes sense.
If I had to,
if you were a betting man,
how that'll turn out, and I'm all for it. If I'm a betting man, yeah. So, but I'm excited to hear more about The Last of Us Part 2. I hope they show gameplay and not just cinematics this time. That would be good.
Is that a question or is it a?
If it's a whole presentation about that game, they will show gameplay. They know better than not to.
Seems like they'd have to.
I just want to know what's coming out soon.
All right. Yeah.
That's all I care about.
So last week, Focus Home Interactive put out a demo of A Plague Tale Innocence. To call that out, that now you can play a free trial of it on PC, PS4, or Xbox One. So I know that I really
play it, especially if you're afraid of rats.
Liked the game. Yeah.
Loved the game.
You can now download a free demo on those platforms and check it out for yourself. If you had any reservations about it whatsoever, you can try it yourself. So Mike Phillips, download
now's your chance, Mike.
Check it out.
I really want to check that game out. I just haven't had time yet, but it seems like a good time to do it.
It's real good. It's real good. And last news story here, Nintendo. Last week we talked about the little teaser video that they put out of a Pilates ring type device that we saw people using on some kind of game, and now we know a little bit more about that. The game is called Ring Fit Adventure, and you use this ring. You strap in you strap your Joy-Cons to it, and it has a leg strap as well, and it's an adventure game where you run and attack enemies and do different like yoga exercises to attack enemies. It looks pretty interesting. There's a 7-minute video that Nintendo released explaining the whole thing. But I was pretty impressed by what looks like the scope of the game. Like, it doesn't seem like it's just a Wii Fit,
right,
or like a Wii Sports type game. It seems like it's got like enough of a meta game, and apparently Nintendo told the press during a couple of product demos that if you played 30 minutes a day, it would take several months to complete the game. So
wow, okay,
like, it seems like a meaty enough experience that
that's
not just a mini game.
I mean, that could be, that's an interesting, I just shouldn't say experiment because I'm sure other places do this too, but I mean, in my experience with different like workout programs and everything, like the last one I did, there were only 8 total, but it was like an 8-week program. So you're seeing and doing the exact same thing at this over and over again wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but kind of like seeing even that same sort of motivational stuff over and over again after a while is like, yeah, whatever, So if the goal is to actually experience something a little bit different each day, I know that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's got like a mini map that you can work through, and different monsters have weaknesses to different kinds of exercise attacks that you can do. It actually looks pretty fun.
Neat.
Yeah.
I have a weakness to all exercise attacks.
Me too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it comes out on the 15th, I want to say. Pretty sure. Let me check.
We're going to take your word for it.
You're going to take my word for it. Let's see. Let me just double check.
Cricket
We're
noise.
all waiting.
Cricket noise.
Boy, that just keeps
Wow,
going.
cricket noise. Yeah, you like that?
Snippy clippy, snip, snip, clip. Clipping to cut it out together. Snippy clippies.
So Ring Fit Adventure will be available
Oh.
on October 18th.
There it is.
And it's $79.99 US and $99.99 Canada. It comes with the ring con, the leg strap, and the game. So there you go. Yeah. Anywho, I think it is time to get to what you've been playing. And Greg, I want to start with you.
Yeah, because I haven't played very much this week. Between getting ready for the stream yesterday.
What I think you mean is you played a lot on stream.
I did. I'm
this
not really
past
going to go
week,
through
but it's
those
old
games
stuff.
too much. Yeah, so basically, like, I had to go through because it was 12 different games on a few different consoles, so I had to go through and make sure everything was working. But yeah, and otherwise, I'm working on a new Welcome Me Todd He Next T level write up. So that's kind of taken up the time. But I did play a lot more Mario Supercross. Because the game that I was going to play on Thursday night, I don't remember what it was. Oh, Blade Runner. Blade Runner is real hard to get running on a Windows 10 machine.
Oh, really?
And while I was able to do that, it's works in such a way that OBS just couldn't capture the footage for some reason, so I couldn't stream it. So I was sort of in a pinch to get something. It's like, whatever. I'm gonna fire up Mario Supercross and see what happens, thinking that like one or two people might sit there and watch it. It was one of the more successful streams I've ever had. So people were super interested especially because of the show where you and I, Phil, are constantly talking about Cross.
It's true.
Like, well, what, now I have a chance to check this out and see what this is all about. And had to explain how the game plays 2 or 3 times,
right,
to various people as they came in. Is like a few people were like, I've been watching this for a while and it looks fascinating, but I have no idea how you're figuring out what you're doing. Like, I don't know what the rules are. So it was kind of neat just to sit and kind of explain it all to people and experience this very early version of Picross from Jupiter. And so that was kind of fun. And then yesterday, probably the only game that I wanted to mention that I actually completed was Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition.
Nice.
And I got to admit, I didn't complete it legit. I ended up doing a walkthrough because I actually played it legitimately the first time. Only played each game for an hour yesterday. And I'd forgotten if we ever talked about this, but one of the things that you can do in that version, like with Night Trap, anyone who played the older versions will realize, like, you have icons that tell you which rooms you're going to be going to next. Like, that's how you select what scene you're watching. There's 8 different rooms that are running simultaneously in the game. And of course, you jump around there to see story scenes as well as, to capture augurs, the villains in the game. But you never know what's going on in each scene until you go there. So it leads to a lot of, if you're not following a walkthrough, a lot of searching around randomly.
Sure. Yeah.
But in the 25th Anniversary Edition, you can change those to thumbnails of the actual video footage of each room. So you can see that something's happening. And it makes it not really easy, but much easier to play legitimately, even with no idea of exactly what's supposed to be going on. Because the game's about 22 minutes long total, and I think I got to minute 17 on my own. And really, the only thing that cost me is that I missed one of the code changes.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I spent a bunch of time trying to figure out what color I needed to change the code to, and missed a bunch of trap moments. And of course, as you get later into the game, some of those trap moments actually immediately cause a game over. Actually, the scene that I lost in was the scene that the hearings were all about. The girl in the washroom in the nightie. So that was actually the scene that caused my game over the first time. So, but anyway, and then one of the reasons why I went back and played through it again is because, of course, in that version there's a theater mode that lets you watch, all of the story scenes separately. However, I did unlock that by finishing the game. But none of the mode was unlocked, but none of the scenes were unlocked. So I think you actually have to go back into the game and see them during the game. And then
really?
Kind of sucks.
That kind of sucks. Yeah.
Because again, if you've never played Night Trap, watching most of the story scenes means you're going to lose.
Right.
Like you can't complete the game if you sit and watch the story. And that's sort of the downside of playing Night Trap properly. Like when I was going through with the walkthrough, the only story scenes I saw were the ones I had to watch in order to get one of the 3 or 4 code changes during the game. So anyway, so I was kind of disappointed that was the case and also when I unlocked it, it looks like it's not sequential. It's room by room. So it's like, okay, here's hallway 2 and here's every single story scene that happens in hallway 2. And then you go, each menu split up that way, which is kind of a bummer because, it'd be cool to watch the whole thing more sequentially. But what are you going to do? Anyway.
I mean, like the Dragon's Lair watch mode where you
can absolutely
watch everything play out.
I think that's something that, and I'm interested to see how they handle the upcoming Corpse Killer, which I also played yesterday, actually, the Sega CD version. The upcoming Corpse Killer and what's the other one?
Double Switch,
thank you. Those I think they're 25th editions, but either those anniversary editions because
I think Double Switch is actually out on digital. It's just not.
Oh, is it already?
Physical release, yeah.
The other thing too, I have to say, because I had forgotten this when I played it originally, is the video was never good anyway. But now, of course, where the quality is so much better, man, it's so painfully video. You know what I mean? Like, it's clearly not film.
Days of Our Lives or something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more like a porno, but yeah,
that too.
It's that level. It's like the lighting's not very good, and there's no budget clearly here, and it looks like they're using video and not film. So, but it's still one of my favorites. It's so much fun. It's so cheesy. It's great. So that was mostly my playing this week.
Alrighty, well, C-Bake, why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
Yeah, I haven't been playing a whole lot lately myself. I did just buy because I heard my friends in Hungary who were at Zen Studios, they were recommending a game, Battle Chasers, to me. Which, have you guys played that at all?
No.
So it is.
I've always wanted to, though. It's Battle Chasers Night War. Right?
Yeah, Battle. Yeah, it's got a subtitle. I don't remember, but Battle Chasers is really like just an old school. It's not a Japanese RPG, but it plays like a JRPG. In a like really old school Final Fantasy style with really modern graphics and like beautiful animations and stuff. The art's by Joe Madureira, who's a very prominent comic book artist. So yeah, I've just kind of dabbled into that, but it's totally my speed. We did the game Operencia a few months ago, and that was like sort of modernizing the dungeon crawler. That was like our thing, and I would say like this is kind of that same thing, but with more of a JRPG tilt to it. By the way, Operencia is still on Game Pass, 82 on Metacritic.
And a real good game.
I should check it out. And other than that, what I've been playing a lot lately actually is the Mega SG. I got one. Greg's been talking about it lately.
One of these?
Indeed, yeah, one of those. The Mega SG is of course, the FPGA that nobody knows what that means. The sort of a new Sega Genesis that is totally 1080p and actually looks great and plays great and has all sorts of special features and stuff. And I also have an EverDrive. I don't have a fancy Mega what is it?
Mega SD.
SD, yeah. I don't have a fancy one of those for Sega CD games, but I do have a very large selection of Genesis games. And for my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel that's mainly about superhero video games at superhero.vg, and eventually I'm kind of chipping away at like a series of basically Genesis reviews that's going to basically rate every Genesis superhero game that ever came out. Don't know why my iPhone's going off. But yeah, so if you guys by chance caught my Batman movie countdown that I did when
I did, that was
yeah,
cool
thanks
video.
for showing up to my premiere. Yeah, so I kind of broke that down by it was like a 30-point scale. 20 points of it were video game, just is it a good video game? The other 10 points were like, does it serve the property right? So I'm kind of taking that approach to the 30-ish superhero games on the Sega Genesis.
Nice.
I don't know when that'll finally start rolling out. It's going to take a while, probably next year sometime, but I am like chipping my way through those. Recently played Dick Tracy. I'm going to throw that in there. Recently played Hyperstone Heist again for the first time in a long time.
So good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
Love it.
That
Can't wait.
And there's another game I've been playing that CJ had on his list, so I'm going to let him talk about it.
Okay. Well, let's jump into that then. I've been playing Sea of Thieves. That's the game you meant, right?
Yeah.
Seabake? That's the one. No. Anyway, so Sea of Thieves updated last week with a store that is selling cosmetics. So this is the first time they've added microtransactions.
There it is. Slippery slope.
It's all cosmetics. You don't need any of the stuff.
That's what they all say.
Just ignore it, they said.
Really no impact on gameplay whatsoever. But some of the things they introduced are like a ship livery that's all decked out, kitted out in Banjo-Kazooie looking stuff. So there's like a jiggy sail and Baron Bird figurehead and a wheel and capstan and cannons and all sorts of fun Banjo-Kazooie stuff anyway, which of course I bought. And the other thing is they introduced pets. So before the game came out, one of the first things they announced they were going to add to the game was pets, so that you could and they announced that as like additional microtransactions. And it's taken a year and a half for them to actually put pets in the game. So they have those in now, and you can buy yourself 2 different types of monkeys or 2 different types of birds. And
hey,
what?
You want to buy a monkey?
What'd you buy,
Exactly.
CJ?
So I bought a monkey and a bird. Both a monkey and a bird. So you can name them and rename them and dress them up in pirate clothing, which is kind of fun. It's also
Maybe
kind
you
of
should.
ridiculous.
Do you have any Cabin Boy references?
And I will love him, and he will be my squishy.
No. You can place them on different parts of the boat, and if you start like playing music, they'll dance along to it. And some of the emotes that you can do in the game, they will do right back to you. They'll mimic you. So it's a pretty fun distraction. Has absolutely no impact on gameplay. The pets do nothing for you.
Sounds like they do a lot for you.
Standpoint. I mean, they do a lot for me in terms of something to look at on the seas. But
man gets lonely out there on the open sea.
That's right. Need my parrot pal. But it's pretty cool. I like it. Good addition. Aside from that, I've been playing a game called Kind Words, and this is on Steam, released by the developer Pop Cannibal, who actually worked with Pop Cannibal on the game Girls Like Robots for mobile, and that was 7 years ago at this point. But Kind Words is a game where you can send and receive messages that are very positive. So you will like put up a request, like let's say you had a bad day or something, and people will shower you with messages, with positive messages. And actually, even though it's the internet and the internet is terrible, all the reports I've seen so far are that people are actually getting positive messages, and that's being moderated somewhat by the creators of the game. But apparently they haven't had to moderate it that much, and that people have been good in this game.
Cool. That was my big question, was just like when I was watching, it sounds really interesting. Like you were the one who mentioned, who I learned about the game from. And it sounds super interesting. What I'm hearing is like, you send and receive positive messages to real people on the internet. Like,
that's right.
Oh,
yes. Strangers.
If the internet has anything, it's the capacity to ruin something like that.
Strangers. And you can post a request, so you can write up to 7 lines describing whatever issue you're having, or if you had a bad day, whatever. And then people send you messages and stickers as well. and you can. The only thing you can do back is you can send somebody who sent you a message a sticker back. You can't reply to them. So there's not like a discussion thread or anything that occurs out of these messages. It's surprisingly positive, and the music, the OST is very chill music. And one of the other things that you can do in the game is write these paper airplane messages that go out to everybody. And the game is like a 3/4 perspective of a room. And you'll see these paper planes come by every so often, and you can click on them. And it's just somebody wrote like a positive message to the entire group. It's not like a request or anything. It's just like a positive message. It actually works. People seem to be doing what the game is there to do, which is amazing considering the internet.
It's a really neat idea.
I think if you want to play that kind of game, probably the earlier the better, because I feel like it's going to have like a YouTube comments effect where, on my YouTube channel, the few times that I've had something get like 10,000 hits or whatever, like 10,000 is like the magic number of when the jerks start to show up, right? Like the first the first
is clearly popular and people like it, so we need to ruin it somehow.
Right. Well, that's when it like goes out to more people who don't already like you. And I think like the people who know about this game probably want like a nice positive game. I hope it doesn't, deteriorate, devolve, or whatever. It actually reminds me of a game I used to play online called Acrophobia. You guys remember this at all? It was from the guys who made
John Goodman killing spiders. I remember.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah. Actually, acrophobia is the fear of heights, and it had nothing to do with this. It was a game about acronyms. It was from the people who made You Don't Know Jack. And Jack had a weekly net show, and then they did this online game called Acrophobia that was supported by just web ads and stuff. And it was like they would flash up these letters on the screen, and you type in what that is the acronym for according to a category or whatever. And then everybody votes on what the best one is. And like the first year or so, it was like super positive, and everyone was really smart, and they said intelligent things. But then like the kids started coming in, and like every F was fart, and it just like I know that's what you would say, Phil.
Was just fart?
I was gonna say, I don't know. You just described when Phil comes in. Not
I know.
There's way more offensive stuff you could use.
It had filters for that sort of, but like like really lowbrow stuff, and like the lowbrow stuff would win. It was like Frankenstein farted or something, and that would win as opposed to just something more intelligent, So the game like just got less fun at that point.
So wait, did they mean Frankenstein's monster farted, or the actual doctor Frankenstein?
Interpretation. Maybe it's deeper than I thought, Phil.
Because there's a big difference.
A lot of different ways.
I mean, Frankenstein's monster, his colon comes from a dead person.
That is
so
impressive.
It probably a fart from Frankenstein's monster probably smells way worse than a fart from Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, and it would be genetically impressive if the monster could fart to begin with.
Well, that's just it. I mean, does he need to digest food?
Wow.
20
years later,
called? I'm going to go play this game and figure this out. What's this?
It was called Acrophobia.
Acrophobia.
I don't believe you can play it anymore. Yeah.
No.
The game about spiders at very high altitudes.
But anyway, getting back to the game. Jeff Grubb in the chat wants me to say the full name of the game. So it's Kind Words, and in parentheses, lo-fi chill beats to write to.
Okay.
Yes. And the soundtrack is really nice too.
So like if I'm having a bad day, I can go into this game and just type, "Hey,
I had a really bad day.
Someone made fun of me for being short today." And then I would get a bunch of messages from anonymous people saying, no, you're of average height. You can do it. Believe in yourself.
Maybe you should try it.
Okay.
$5 on Steam.
Well, I got it for free.
The game is doing so well that Pop Cannibal has had to upgrade their servers 2 or 3 times this weekend. So that's it's fantastic to hear that it's doing well. So
it showed up. I was subscribing to Humble Bundle's little monthly thing.
Oh, right.
A little bit of back.
It's on
A
there,
little bit of back.
Yeah. It was, I think,
Dear
keys to
video
that is
game,
part of the July.
I fumbled my line in a podcast today, and I feel really dumb about it.
I think keys to that went out as part of the July Humble.
Yeah, it just well, it's weird because I didn't get any notification saying that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I found out about it because Wario64 tweeted about it.
Right.
Like Humble didn't bother contacting me about it, or the makers of the game. No one
told you that you had a free game.
It's a good thing Wario64 was there to let me know what was going on.
That's right.
So,
well, I paid my $5 and it's $5 on Steam. Well worth it.
Okay.
I think it's a fun little game. Anyway, I also played Contra Rogue Corps.
Oh, I gotta download that demo
because there's a demo on Switch and I think it's on PS4 as well. So you can try that out. It's not a very long demo. It's like 10 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of brings you through the first little area of the game tutorial. But I mean, it's an overhead shooter and it mixes in some Contra elements. And
does it still look like it belongs on a PlayStation 1 or?
Well, the Switch version,
2,
the graphics are a little jaggy, a little rough.
I don't
no,
know,
but that's not what I was getting at. It doesn't look. Even if the graphics weren't jaggy, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it does kind of look PlayStation 2-ish.
Yeah,
it's like an indescribable. If I say it looks PlayStation 2-ish, and you look at the graphics, you'd be like, oh yeah.
More than the graphics, I have to say I'm concerned about CJ describing the new Contra game as mixing in some Contra-like elements.
Contra-like elements.
Yes. I mean, I would want my Contra game to be 100% Contra exact elements.
What it seems like this game is doing is it's leaning very heavily on the stranger aspects of the Contra series.
Okay.
Including like one of the characters is a panda.
Okay.
And apparently that was in a previous Contra game. Like I sort of stopped following Contra games at a certain point after the
well, I mean, like Hardcore had like the werewolf character and the little robot.
Those are in this.
Yeah. Wasn't it Neo Contra for PS2 that went like really crazy where they had like a little dog was one of the enemies and stuff like that?
I don't know.
The PS2 Contra games started getting goofy with their plots and stuff like that. So
I think this is in that same realm where it's a goofy plot, and the voice acting is not great.
Okay.
And also they just have a lot of curse words thrown in, and
for the sake of it.
In addition, for the sake of it, in addition to the voice acting not being great, the curse words being in like every other line just does not flow well at all. And maybe that's what they're going for the over the top cheesy sort of thing and just missing the mark a little bit. I'm not sure. Like, well, is
it done up like an 80s like Commando type movie, something like that?
Not enough. No,
really,
not really. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what direction they're going here with this, but the gameplay itself is fine. Like it plays well. But yeah, I don't know if you're a huge Contra fan, if you're gonna love it or not. And it's full price too. It's like $40 or $50.
No, it's like $40.
Yeah.
Full price is $60.
Okay, full price.
So it's absolutely not full price.
It's not $60, but it's not.
They're still they're charging money for it.
They are.
They're still trying to make a profit.
Primarily a multiplayer game. You can't pause in it, even.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, I couldn't find a way to pause.
No, there has to be a way to pause.
I couldn't find a way. You tell me if you find one. And it's an online game that they want you to play with friends, online multiplayer. So, but anyway, it's only okay.
Okay.
And then I've been playing Star Wars Pinball, which Phil, I know you've been playing some of, and I know Seabake's been playing some of that too.
Star Wars Pinball.
He's probably played a little.
Yeah. So Zen Studios, of course, brought out Star Wars Pinball on Friday. It was the release date, right?
That is true. Yeah.
And it's got 19 tables and a ridiculous amount of Star Wars tables
for a mere $30.
For a mere $30. That's cheaper than this Contra game that I was just talking about. But so I started playing through career mode, which is a pretty interesting, like mission-based pinball mode where you get to play across all 19 tables. But of course, I haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm still playing the first mission structure. But I am having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you think, Phil?
I think it's awesome. I mean, you know me, I love the video pinball. You also know that I'm terrible at it.
I am,
but
also
that doesn't
terrible.
Stop me.
I am also terrible, and I've played like every time a pinball game comes out, especially Pinball FX. I play plenty of that.
Yes. Well, I mean, are there any other pinball games in town at the moment?
No.
There are, but yeah, I would humbly suggest that the Zen ones are the best.
Well,
I think I personally actually have not worked on that at all. It's just my company. But yeah.
Wait, you didn't work on this game?
No, I did not.
Okay, good. So CJ, let me tell you what's wrong with this game. Oh my gosh, I have a list.
That's funny.
I'm kidding.
Just to speak more to CJ and the whole career mode thing, I think just as a player, because I've been playing these games even when I had nothing to do with. I mean, it kind of had something to do with Zen because I worked on Marvel Pinball back in the day, but whatever. Just a lot of times you'll play the Zen games and you'll get to these modes that are like mini games, and it's hard to get there, and you don't know what you're supposed to do right away, and you probably fail it pretty soon because you just don't know what you're doing. But with the career mode, we'll like take you like right to the a fight with Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker at Bespin. And
so you don't have to activate the mode or anything like that,
right? That mode is your challenge, so
That's your challenge. Okay.
So if you fail it once or twice, you just go straight there, and then you can always go back. So it's nice, it's practice for when you do that in a more leaderboard focused regular game. But it's also just if you want to play out that specific mini game, once you get there in the career mode, you can do that. So that's one of the things I love about it.
It's kind of crazy the amount of options this has. Like when I booted it up, I totally just expected it to be, here's all the Star Wars pinball tables, have fun. But suddenly there's this like screens explaining all these different modes and all these different options you have. And
did you choose light side or dark side?
Well, I'm not evil. I'm a good guy.
Dark side? Yeah, I also selected light side.
Yeah, me too.
Good guy.
But the fact that you can do that, and then if you want to switch anytime,
of course,
that's pretty cool.
Well, just like in Star Wars, you can.
Yeah.
Maybe you're fighting the light, like Kylo Ren himself. You're torn. You're torn between the two.
You have it much easier being able to select the option. Screen.
Maybe CJ, you are on the side of light right now. Maybe after I tell you the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, you might decide to change your allegiance.
Possible.
So we'll sit down later. I'll tell you that. It's
Phil,
not
have you
something you would hear
seen
from a
my
Jedi.
Chance Cube?
Always comes back to the chance cube.
I have seen my chance cube.
I don't think we have any chance cubes. That's one of the few things we don't have.
Well, there's always DLC.
That's right.
I'm sure there's a Watto table in development right now. Let's hope.
You could probably make a pretty fun little Watto shop table. I bet that could be fun.
That could be really fun.
Yeah.
Hit
the nose.
Yes. If you get the ball up the ramp, a little pit droid kicks Jar Jar in the junk.
Love it.
That was something that happened in a Star Wars movie. A robot kicked an alien in the junk.
I don't remember that, but that he actually kicked him in the junk.
When Jar Jar's he's holding up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's
Kicks him
and
in
like
the chunk.
there's
I
a
didn't
beat.
remember that detail. All right.
There's a beat, and you just see the little pit droid leg go boop and kick him right in the junk, and Jar Jar barely reacts.
It's hard to remember all that stuff because it's just one in the many steps that that movie was taking down.
Right.
So
Down,
way down.
I don't know,
Just tearing that reputation all to pieces.
but it's great. It's a great game.
It is.
I'm having a blast with that, and of course, it works marvelously with our pal Jeremy Parrish's Flippy Grippy. So
Yeah, we actually demoed it at both E3 and Gamescom with the Flip Grip because it works so well with it.
You know what I'm excited to see?
Awesome. What's that?
I'm excited to see what people do with our video. I want to see people chroma key Seabake into all sorts of crazy situations.
Should I do like poses like?
Yeah.
Here, this is me this is me against like AT-AT or something like.
Oh yeah, there it is. Perfect. There you go. Start editing that, everybody.
There you go.
Throw them into all sorts of crazy situations.
At least make some fun gifs. Let's do that.
Oh boy. Hey, Seabake.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop talking about video games for a minute,
Okay.
as I am wont to do on this show, because I have you here, and you're a bit of a Star Wars expert. It's safe to say, right?
I'm above average now. I'm not at the level like comparatively that I was like 10 years ago.
Right. I mean, now you're
Yeah,
Mr. Marvel now, but you have a pretty extensive.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars is still my favorite, and I try to be as on top of things as possible.
I mean, you used to work for LucasArts, right?
I did, yes.
So you're intimately.
I would occasionally get calls from George Lucas, who sounded suspiciously like you.
I don't know what you're
like
talking
a voice.
about. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
the power of myth. You see, it's the magic of storytelling. So let me ask you. I want to ask you a question about Star Wars.
Okay.
And this is about the original trilogy. So you should be well versed in this.
I should be well versed in this.
This isn't some obscure thing. Okay.
All right.
Return of the Jedi. You've seen Return of the Jedi.
A few times, yes.
I'm going to say at least twice. Right?
Probably at least 22 to 50.
Okay.
Or so.
It's a wide range.
Of my life.
But I absolutely believe it.
I was trying to throw the 2 in there. I don't know.
Yeah. So at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, Princess Leia shows up at Jabba's palace in disguise as the bounty hunter Boushh.
Yes. I say Boushh, but is it Boushh? I don't know.
I always said Boushh, but maybe I'm wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's Jabba. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Jabba.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is
not
Jabba.
Jabba. So she shows up in disguise as a bounty hunter who has a name. And she has with her the mighty Chewbacca, the Wookiee, in chains.
You mean Chewbacca?
Chewbacca. Mm-hmm. Offering to claim a bounty on Chewbacca's head. She is turning Chewbacca over to the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt to collect what has been established as a pre-existing bounty. Yes. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this is to infiltrate his castle to try and rescue Han Solo, who has previously been turned over to Jabba.
He's hanging on the wall.
Fett.
Yes.
To claim the bounty on his head. Yeah. Boba Fett came into possession of Han Solo on Bespin, on the Cloud City of Bespin.
That is true.
Where he captured Han Solo, froze him in carbonite, and took him off to give to Jabba to collect the bounty.
That's what happened in every version of the movie, yes.
Why on Bespin, if Han Solo and Chewbacca both have bounties on their head, why did Boba Fett not take Chewbacca with him? He had Chewbacca there. Chewbacca was a captive. Why did he leave Chewbacca behind?
perhaps the bounty. I don't know the answer to this. There probably is a canonical answer to this because they've kind of thought of everything by now. I would imagine one. It's
if you are about to
because he's
suggest,
one guy. He's one guy, right?
He's one guy with a carbon freezing chamber.
Yes, but he is one guy.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute. Boba Fett didn't have the carbon freezing chamber.
He
made a deal
there.
with the Empire.
Yeah, and you know
they were
what?
testing it on Han Solo.
They were testing it on Solo. Yes.
I mean,
there was no reason for the Empire didn't care about Chewbacca.
The breakout happened almost immediately at that point, didn't it?
But you know what? At this point, Cloud City had been evacuated, right?
So
Cloud City
it's in the process.
Yeah. The machinery's being run by a skeleton crew of Ugnaughts. So why doesn't Boba Fett just threaten the Ugnaughts? Hey, little pig guy, I'm gonna kick this Wookiee into that pit. Why don't you flip the switch, or I'm gonna shoot you in the head?
I don't think there was an opportunity for that to happen.
I don't think there was an opportunity for that.
Because Chewbacca's fighting.
Yeah.
Right after that, and
as we've seen, Boba's not really good in a fight.
Well, see, this is the thing. Boba Fett is a crap bounty hunter, is what I'm getting to. That's what this is all about.
So he took the easy bounty. That's like...
and he's one guy. He could not handle a Wookiee himself. He would need him in the chamber, which the Empire was doing that for to test Luke. They want to put Skywalker.
They were trying to lure Luke in.
Yeah, they wanted Luke in there, and they tested it on Han Solo because he's a human being. And I think your question is invalid.
Stupid.
You can't tell me that Boba Fett couldn't have just said, "Hey Annie, we go back a ways. We were tangentially, we kind of knew each other. I don't
think you know that. Yeah, okay.
When we were kids.
That's funny, but I don't think you know.
Your buddy Mace killed my dad, right?
Yeah, but he started it.
He doesn't know that.
Huh?
How would he know that?
I don't know. He's maybe he saw the movie. I don't know.
I can't believe we wasted this much
time.
I
know. Can I give you just a really simple answer to your question? Just a simple answer to your question is that in the time between those two movies, that's when the bounty went into effect.
That's ridiculous. Okay. There's no way that would have happened. That bounty had to have been pre-existing.
Who's hosting the show? You should really take control again.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Boba Fett is a crap bounty hunter. His dad was a crap bounty hunter.
And only his fleas will warn him?
Everyone should be paying attention to Bosk, the true MVP of bounty hunters. Anyway.
I see. Anyway,
there it is.
Phil,
what?
Did you have any other video game related things you wanted to talk about and what you've been playing?
Who cares?
This isn't what you've been thinking about. It's what you've been
I think
playing.
like 80% of that was just a synopsis too.
It was.
If Jango Fett
oh God, it's still going.
Is trying to be all stealthy, why is he using saber darts that are only manufactured on the planet where he lives? It's a crap bounty hunter. I played a little more Astral Chain. Astral Chain. Yeah. Played a little more of that game, the Platinum game. It's good. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. That's all I have to say. I played that. I played some Star Wars pinball. What more do you want from me? I'm biding my time until Link's Awakening comes out,
which is this week.
You bet Friday. It is. You bet it is.
Very excited.
I'm very excited about Link's Awakening.
Yes,
it's a good game. Did you ever play Link's Awakening before?
I have played it. Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm ready to play.
It's good.
Remake.
Yeah, it's gonna be all like
amiibo too. Getting the amiibo.
Oh yes, I will buy the amiibo. I will buy the little Link. You know what? If I'm driving up to Canada to buy a damn Slurpee cup with a picture of Link on it, yes,
3 Slurpee cups.
Huh?
3 Slurpee cups.
That's true. 3 Slurpee cups. I'm definitely buying the amiibo.
Okay.
So
cool.
Well,
then I think it's time for tweets.
Tweedly deedly dee. Tweedly deedly dee deet deet. Deet deet.
Okay. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias MLS Reserves, who says, do you all enjoy, quote, weird narratives like Limbo, Inside, Alan Wake, etc.? What about games that leave endings to be open to interpretation?
If you want to play a weird narrative, might I suggest Nautical coming this week? for Apple Arcade.
I really enjoyed Inside, and of course, Alan Wake is one of my favorite games for sure. I think it depends, because Inside was a weird game, but it didn't overstay its welcome, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think with any sort of game that has a weird narrative, it can't be like a weird narrative game that's also 120 hours long.
Yeah. Especially if you are going to leave things open to interpretation, because at that point I really want closure.
Yeah, for sure. What about you there, Phil or Seabake?
I would
What's
say
the question?
yes, but I'm trying to think of any specific examples. I mean, I like weird. I like story games in general. I did not play Inside. I own it. I still haven't played it yet. But yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. Nothing's springing to mind as far as just weird. Other than Nautical coming this week on Apple Arcade.
Yes. Phil, what about you? Did you play Inside or Limbo or?
I did. Limbo's the one that's like the kind of black silhouette game.
That's right. Yeah.
I did not play that.
Did not play it. Okay.
I did not play that. And which one's Inside?
Inside is the one where you're a kid and you're just running to the right. It's very similar to
Wow,
Limbo.
really? CJ?
I don't want to spoil Limbo. Or
sorry. It was made by the same people who did Limbo, right?
Okay.
Same people.
I
Yeah.
The game they did after Limbo.
I didn't play that one either.
They did it after Limbo.
I didn't
Where
play
you're a
that
kid
one
running
either.
to the right.
And
Running
I
to the
love
right,
I love
and
games
also-
about kids that run to the right.
Boy, and his
I
blob.
figured.
Yeah.
I don't
Mega Man.
want to spoil any of it because it's a very good game. And,
You know, once I played Pitfall and I accidentally ran to the left and I didn't know what to do.
That's a recipe for
man.
disaster.
I turned the game off and just threw it away. Just it startled me so much. What's the question? Did you play those two games?
Ambiguous endings, like that are open to interpretation.
Oh,
I think Mega Man 2's ending was open to interpretation at the time.
yeah, I could see that.
Did
How
you guys
about
all
this
finish
one?
Uncharted 4.
I stopped playing Uncharted.
Finished
4.
Is that
it.
ambiguous?
I don't
remember that
remember
being
it.
It wasn't ambiguous, but it had a good ending.
How about
I like good endings.
Good job, CJ.
I know,
About-
right?
I
How
can't
about
think
this
of
one?
any ending. Are there like go-to like endings for games that are ambiguous?
Last of Us?
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah,
Last of Us has an ambiguous ending.
that's true.
Did you see that? Did you play that game? The Last of Us's? That has an ambiguous
I did.
ending, and it's a darn good game to boot.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. It also has the best DLC ever made.
Say it, Phil. Go ahead.
Skeleseer can suck my dick.
There you go.
The best line
And
reading
there
in a
it
video
is.
game ever. Ever.
Good stuff.
Ashley
All right.
Johnson?
Ashley Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah, she is outstanding.
absolutely.
Oh, hey, speaking of those horror zombie-ish games,
Mm-hmm.
even though Last of Us, I mean, I guess they're not technically zombies. You know what I picked up but did not really play this week was I picked up the Telltale Walking Dead collection.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Came
Okay.
out this week. I got the PS4 version.
Hmm.
So I popped it in and looked at it real quick because it has like
He said, "Yep, that's Walking Dead."
that's
And
Walking
then-
Dead, all right. Well, it's got some extra stuff. I guess it's got like some
Director
commentary,
Right.
and it's got
Really?
like character viewers, and you can like look at there's like certain animation, like key animations, and like some voice samples and stuff like that. So there's a lot of development artwork and stuff like that.
Yep.
Concept art is the word I was looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool
Familiar
package.
with it.
So I'm going to
Cool.
need to sit down and play those at some point post Zelda.
I see. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias TechDan3000, who says, given how much Greg and Phil in particular seem to enjoy point-and-click adventures, what are your memories of the Misc series? Do you have a favorite? I've just started replaying the third one and am always amazed by the immersive atmosphere.
I
this
like
ought to be
point and
good.
click adventure games, not garbage slideshows.
Wow.
I like games that are games
Wow.
and not look at this rendered picture and now play a little sliding tile puzzle.
Wow.
I didn't much care for Misc.
I didn't play much
nothing
Misc.
against the questioner themselves.
I didn't play much
absolutely
Misc.
not.
You don't care for Misc.
I didn't play much Misc, but I did. I have a fond memory of it because my very first kind of step into the video game industry was a website called allgame.com where I reviewed a bunch of games. And I reviewed the collection called Ages of Mist. It was like I don't remember exactly what was on it, but that was actually the first time I ever actually played it. I had seen it been played, and I didn't have a computer powerful enough at the time when it came out. But I actually that's one of the few times in my life I've sat down with my dad and been like, "Hey, Dad, I think you might like this." You heard him earlier in the show. And we sat down for like 3 hours, and it went by really quick, and it was like some good father-son time. So that's
a good memory.
That's my fine Misc memory. Yeah. Circa 1998, 99 maybe.
I didn't have a computer at all when Misc came out. I remember being really, but never actually playing it, but watching other people playing it and being super impressed by how it looked.
Oh yeah.
It looked
groundbreaking.
Beautiful. And one thing even now I'll say that I really liked was the full motion video stuff. So they did the when you would open the books and you'd see the sort of broken footage of, I think it was the two brothers, right?
Yep.
And you kind of, the whole idea, I didn't realize it at the time, the whole idea was to get all that stuff pieced together, I believe. So yeah, I mean, probably the first one. I remember playing through Riven, which was the second game, I believe.
Yes.
That came out on consoles.
You did, and I think I reviewed that on the PlayStation.
PS1.
I think I reviewed it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But really, my strongest memory of that is the cover of the game.
Yeah.
Box cover. Like, it wasn't much of a game. None of them were. Although I've heard that the later games actually were better. But I don't know.
Wasn't it like a dome building, like the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco?
Yes, like that's exactly what it was. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yep.
The best thing to come out of Misc was a reference in LucasArts' Curse of Monkey Island game, which is a real graphic adventure game and a good one.
Wow.
At one point, Guybrush Threepwood, Mighty Pirate, needs to cross like a river or something like that, and there is a kind of skeletal ferryman in a boat, and the lake or whatever he's trying to cross is all it's mist covered, and Guybrush is getting on the boat. Yes, and I forget what the actual line was, but the ferryman or something mentions like, oh, it's going to be tough travels because of the mist or something like that, and Guybrush says, well, now mist is pretty, but boy, is it ever dull. Something along those lines.
Because did you guys ever see the sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, because that's what Misc had going for it. It was a very pretty game, but boy, it was dull.
And it had a parody game called Pissed.
Yes, starring John Goodman.
Starring John Goodman, yeah.
Our second John Goodman reference this week. Yeah, there was some game company was putting out
Parity Interactive. I know that because I got Star Warped. Their Star Wars parody. It was Star Warped, and it came with the ad for Pissed in it.
I think
that's how I know about Pissed.
PYST.
Yeah.
I think they also did like Wind Blows 95 or something like that.
Probably.
I think they did a Windows, because you know what everyone really wants is hard cutting parodies of operating systems.
Micro Shaft Wind Blows 98.
Oh, it was 98. Okay, yeah. Micro Shaft Wind Blows. That's, man. This had to have been former Mad Magazine writers coming up with this. But
a division of Palladium Interactive.
Really?
I'm just looking at their
what did Palladium
page.
Do?
Good question.
Yeah, I remember carrying those at Babbage's. Was Star Warped any good?
Yeah, it was actually.
Was it really?
It came at a good time because it was like before the prequels and what we knew about them, so we were really hyped for Star Wars and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of like just kind of like pre-prequels humor.
Oh, that's funny.
They did like what would the Star Wars trilogy have been if Woody Allen directed it, and what it would have been if Quentin Tarantino directed it. And it had just like parody games, like the Dork Forces was one of them. So yeah, very Mad Magazine.
Right.
You Don't Know Jedi was its quiz game.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I played that game a lot. I enjoyed it.
Nice. Well, maybe we'll see an HD remaster one of these days.
I don't think so.
Never say never.
Maybe so.
Sonic the Hedgehog is on Nintendo systems, so you never know what's going to happen.
It's true.
So
I think I know that there's not going to be a re-release of Star Wars. I'm pretty positive that's not going to happen.
Yes.
Oh boy.
All right, let's finish up with this one from hacker alias Casalaza, who says, on your TV, what's the number of systems you have connected? I currently have 8. Is what Casalaza says.
Are we counting little mini consoles?
Are we tallying all of our TVs together? Because I have like 3 different TVs with consoles attached.
Mine are my living room TV only has 3 hooked up: the Switch, the Xbox One, and the PS4. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine.
So I don't have all my systems hooked up to a television.
My TV only has a PS4, Xbox One, Switch. My PS3 and my original Xbox are both hooked up just because they're such a pain in the ass to hook up otherwise that I leave them connected. But everything else is kind of hooked up when it's needed.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's a lot of systems here, but there aren't very many that are actually hooked up.
Yeah, the TV I'm looking at right now that has my PC plugged into it has most of my retro consoles and my Xbox One. I don't know. It's probably like
now
6 or 8 right there.
When you say retro consoles, do you mean like the little like NES?
No, I mean
Classic?
like actual like there
like
is
a Genesis.
There is a CDX. There's a Super Nintendo. There's a
good thing you got that CDX hooked up.
Yeah, right.
Never know when you're gonna need some.
There's a Wii U.
Hey.
There's a Xbox One. Xbox One's the only the modern one. And then I have another TV that has the Switch and the Mega SG. And I have the other TV which has the Super Nintendo Mini and the NES Mini and the PS4. Yeah. So they're kind of distributed right now. Yeah.
I'm just making fun of the CDX to irritate Greg. The CDX is a wonderful little machine.
It is.
It absolutely is. I'm very pleased with mine. My TV, I have the current 3, the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One. I do still have my Wii U hooked up to it, only because occasionally Finn will get into a mood to want to play a Skylanders game. And we have all the Wii U Skylander games. But then I have the NES Classic and the SNES Classic and the PlayStation
soon to be Genesis
Classic and this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
This week my Genesis Classic will be showing up, so that's going to be hooked up to it.
Can't
you
wait.
Better believe it.
The after show will be themed to that, just so you know.
There you go.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yes.
Oh, there's a little hint.
Yes, the after show will revolutionize the Player One after show.
Oh my.
Yes.
That's a hearty promise.
Well then.
It's going to happen, my friend.
Get on it, Patreon fans.
All right.
But yeah.
I think that's it.
My TV will also have a mini TurboGrafx hooked up to it in a few months.
In March, yes.
Better believe it.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have one of those up by the end of the week.
Nice. You will find Generation 16 episodes as they show up.
Yeah, that'll take a little longer.
Okay. And you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about. And one of those links is to our Discord server where you can discuss video games and movies and television shows and all sorts of things with and this episode too. I guess you could talk about that with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up Apple's podcast application. You can also head over to the App Store and invest $1.99.
Cheap. Reasonable price.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's a reasonable price.
To pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. We also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. Is the Player One Podcast iPhone application going to be available through Apple Arcade, CJ?
Nope.
Probably not.
You heard it there, folks. So bye. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone applications will for reasonable device well for that same $1.99.
Oh yeah, it's cheap or something too.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, you got to stumble over the first one. I want to just give you a chance to say the second one.
Right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We are on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. You can watch archives of our many of our old shows and watch us stream new episodes live. Just follow our Twitter account. We'll tell you when we're going to be streaming them. It's usually around this time of the week, Sunday evenings. So please look forward to it. If you'd like what you've heard, and how could you could head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way because CJ needs some teeth whitening strips.
Wow, what?
Oh, wow. I wasn't aware. I was not aware of that. Wow.
Kind of mean.
Don't you really? You don't really, CJ. It was the first thing that came into my head, but
okay.
Every joke is like 30% truth. So
well,
take that how you want.
Okay, I will.
My goodness. Mean-spirited comedy like that is going to get me kicked off of my new Saturday Night Live job. Topical. But you know what? Patreon friends do. If you are at the $5 tier, you do gain access to a special post show that we do every week where we play games, we have fun, we crack wise. And this week, our special guest, Seabake, has apparently some sort of elaborate game set up for us.
Yeah, and eventually, I don't know when, but you can check it out on my YouTube channel too if you're too cheap to be part of the Patreon.
Wow, man, everyone's just so.
But the thing is, it's gonna win people over. They're gonna want to hear all of these, and then they're gonna be very disappointed because it's not as good as the one they're gonna get.
I would like to tell our listeners that I appreciate you.
Oh.
Who's Seabake?
Yes.
You're telling our listeners that you appreciate Seabake?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Well, we all just never say it.
Look at that.
I really wish I could say the same thing. I'm too honest of a person. No, I love you guys. Thanks for inviting me again.
Yeah, see? Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, and if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you will find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it absolutely is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite second banana. The TurboGrafx was better. Generation 16.
Thanks, Phil.
I'm kidding. As you know what, Greg, as much as I love the Turbo, the Genesis is a better machine.
Mm-hmm.
Has more games, more good games. I'm not afraid to admit it. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
What are you thanking me for?
Just for your outro. There.
Wasting your time.
Wasting time talking about Transformers toys and Star Wars.
Insulting your beautiful teeth. Don't thank me for that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Transformers toys, look at this I got this week. This is a Machine Robo, Steam Robo. This is a new toy based on the Japanese toy that would become the GoBot character Loco. So,
fantastic.
that. Jealous?
Great. No,
Not at all.
Not at
You're
all.
absolutely jealous. Gregory,
Yo.
thank you for stopping in this week.
Thank you, Phil.
Let me ask you about this. Maybe this will make you jealous. Look at this. Look at this toy that I got this week. This is, you recognize this? Seabay clearly does. This is an action figure of Paulie's robot from Rocky 4.
You know, I've never seen Rocky 4.
What?
I caught it honestly, at the Alamo Draft House a few weeks before Creed 2 came out, which I still haven't seen. But
every time you post up at the Alamo Draft House, I get so jealous. I wish we had
Come on
that
down
here.
sometime.
How could you not have seen
really?
Rocky
How
4?
could you not have seen Rocky 4? Really?
What kind of American are you?
It is pretty, well, yeah. I was going to say it's un-American, but he isn't.
That's more partial to Rocky V.
Well, Rocky 5 is not good, buddy.
Adrian's Revenge.
I mean, Rocky 4 is also not good, but it's a fantastic kind of not good.
No, I've never seen
cheesy.
It. Honestly, I hadn't even seen the original Rocky until probably when I was in my 20z, and I've never seen any of the other ones. Although I did see Creed and Creed 2, and those were great.
Paulie, Rocky's brother-in-law.
You'll buy anything, won't you?
Well, this is a robot. This is
clear evidence of that.
Yeah. This is Paulie's robot.
Yeah,
it comes with the.
It's one of the 80th robots of the 80s.
It's wearing a party hat. This robot in the film is about 6 feet tall. It's wearing a party hat. It comes with a birthday cake, so it can say "Happy Birthday, Paulie." How do you not buy this? Gee, purrs.
I can think of so many different ways.
And of course, extra special thanks to our wonderful guest. We love him so much. It's always great to see our good pal, Chris Baker, C-Bake himself. C-Bake, tell the internet. I mean, we all know that you should buy Zen Studios' wonderful games.
Indeed.
But where else can people find you?
Well, if you want to see the Zen Studios wonderful games, it's zenstudios.com or zen_studios on Twitter. Dread Nautical this week. Operencia is out. And I'm actually working on Castle Storm 2. I didn't mention that one. That's what I'm mainly working on right now is Castle Storm 2, which adds a strategy element to the gameplay from the first one. So that you can find me at cbake76 on Twitter. My YouTube is superhero.vg. Just go to the Twitter. It's got all the necessary links.
Because you do some great videos. I really enjoy your YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while, and it's been since Batman's 30th, and I've just been really busy. But
that doesn't make them less good, C-Bake.
True.
All right. Well, like and subscribe. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Do what Spider-Ham says.
I decided I'm totally gonna stop any kind of like promotion like that because it doesn't do me any good, and I don't really care that much anyway. So I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna let it speak for itself.
There you
go. If you want to subscribe, go for it. If you don't, that's fine too.
You know who else? You know who else produced quality content and wasn't going on about like and subscribe all the time? William Shakespeare.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you prove that though?
I mean,
how do we know that he didn't come out at the end of Midsummer Night's Dream and said, "This dost thou like this? Like it and subscribe it.
Slabbeth thy like and subscribeth.
Slabbeth."
Wow. Shakes bros. Get thee to mine YouTube channel. Forsooth. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.